We're going out this evening for a slight evening out. Let me tell you where we're going. It's behind you! So we're here. This is Wolverhampton, and we're doing our annual, what would you say? Well, we haven't been doing it for a while. We're going, let's go along here a bit. Look, we're going to the Grand Theatre. Yeah, this is the Grand Theatre, Wolverhampton. Is that what we're going to see, Deb? This one? Yeah. And we've come to see Aladdin. It's been a few years with COVID and one thing or another. It's been a few years since we've been, and we do love a pantomime. There you are. It's on. Got it? So here we are, come to see Aladdin. We're pretty close to the front, and it's getting full. Yeah, we're pretty close to the front, and it's quite. The seats here and the seats up there. Look, the Grand Theatre, and if you're really posh, you get to sit on the wings there. Look. It's a fantastic building. Look at that. What? You all right? So yeah, this is the Grand Theatre, Wolverhampton. Ah, lovely. Right, and we're 5 from the front. So we've had the first half, and can you see how the music fits? Can you see? Oh, this is where down here. Look, you can see where the music is played and directed from. And you see how decorated the building, you know. Can you see? It's a really old building. Yeah, with all the lights. It's a round building. You can see up. Hello, a tall roof. And the lights are up there. Look. See how far the lights are away. The zoom on this still doesn't hardly reach. Yeah. So this is the Grand Theatre in Wolverhampton. There's a door there, look. And there's a door there. And it's all up here, look. Yeah. So this is the Grand Theatre in Wolverhampton. You can see all the decorations of it. Oh, like that, look. So we've got 20 minutes of a break now. So this is the break time from the show, half time. The only criticism I have is, wow, they cram you in. I mean, it's not a massive place, but look, there's no.
Yes, but my legs are here.
Yeah, Debbie's now.
You've got long legs.
Yeah, I got long legs. But they do like to cram you in. They're really tight, these places, and small seats. Would you pay a little more and want a little bit of space, or is this just to keep the you know, get the people in? But it is always it sort of puts you off, and the seats, well, obviously they're older, they're not the most comfortable seats, but you know, you're only here for a couple hours really, aren't you? But anyway, but it's the way of the way. That's the way it is in theatres, isn't it? No space. They just want you in, they want you to enjoy yourself, and then they want you to go home, don't they? But we are crammed in like sheep. Yeah. Can you see, look? Can you see when they want to change the bulb in the lighting rig? Hold on. There we are. We're on our way out of the pantomime. Fantastic, well entertained. Were you entertained? We've missed it the last 2 years because of the older COVIDs. Yeah. The building, what did you say, was 120 years old? The building, let's have one last look at it. The building is 120 years old. Yeah. We'll get Debbie to read. Are you going to read the story? Yeah. The stage, this is they call this the pit, don't they? So there was a man there, musicians here, and the guy playing the music here. And can you see down there? There was a drummer in there, look. So that was here. And there's the stage. And the lights were up the side. What a fantastic... we were well entertained. Well entertained. Lovely. Thank you. And of course we never look behind us, but you see there's a...
Plaques on, you know,
Hey?
you can buy a plaque.
Oh yeah. And you see the people, I guess the directors, and did the music and operated the lights, and all them they were there, look. What a fantastic place. So this is where we've been, the Grand Theatre in Wolverhampton. What a fantastic evenings of entertainment. Fantastic. Great night out in the pantomime. So Debbie's going to, I know you like Debbie reading a story to you. She's going to read what it says about the Grand in Wolverhampton. Carry on.
Okay, let Mother tell you a story. The Wolverhampton Grand Theatre is a long-established theatre in the heart of the Midlands. It receives a wide range of major touring productions, including drama, musicals, ballet, dance, opera, variety, concerts, children's shows, and one of the biggest pantomimes in the UK, with audiences from across the region and beyond, taking advantage of the excellent transport links in the city. Admired by performers and audiences alike for its intimate, three-tiered Victorian auditorium, the Grand celebrated its 125th anniversary in December 2019. And then it goes on to say about changes. They did a renovation of the front of house which took place in the summer of 2016. The Grand Theatre first opened its doors in 1894 and was designed by prestigious theatre architect Charles J. Phipps of Wolverhampton and native builder Henry Gough. The £10,000 construction began in June 28, 1894, when Mayoress C.T. Mander unveiled foundation stone. Even today, the Grand remains held in high regard as one of Phipps's crowning achievements, so much so that the facade of the building has remained virtually unchanged.
Facade,
has remained virtually unchanged during both of its major refurbishments. Many would agree that it is one of the finest examples of Victorian architecture in the city of Wolverhampton. Its debut production was Utopia Limited by the world-renowned De Ollie Carty Opera, performed to the staggering 2,151 capacity of the original auditorium. In those days, seating in the auditorium was segregated by class, with the dress circle set aside for members of gentry. In contrast, the working classes waited for hours to grab a place in the sixpenny gallery.
So where we were?
Where there was no advance booking and queues reaching around the building. One such lucky theatre goer on the opening night was a 9-year-old Tom Latham, so impressed by the grandiose beauty and elegance of the building that he would later go on to become the Grand stage manager for 35 years. During the opening years of the 20th century, the Grand played host to icons of the stage, screen and political arena, both established and yet to leave their mark on the world. One such character was Charlie Chaplin, who made the most of his role as page boy in the 1902 production of Sherlock Holmes, through to a series of elaborate practical jokes at the expense of cast and crew. The great Victorian actor Sir Henry Irvine appeared in 4 plays in 1903, and future Prime Minister Winston Churchill addressed a male-only audience as President of the Board of Trade in 1909, though his speech was interrupted by an enthusiastic group of suffragettes who threw smoke bombs and damaged seating before being ejected by the police. 9 years later, at the end of World War I, the victorious Prime Minister David Lloyd George launched his election campaign to a packed auditorium, famously declaring "Homes fit for heroes." The Grand continued to pack in audience throughout the 20s and 30s. During the 30s, 40s and 50s, the Grand's resident repertory company flourished under the theatre moguls Leon and Derek Solberg, running 2 companies in tandem, both here at the Alexandra Theatre in Birmingham and in Wolverhampton. The company was managed by Derek's cousin, an aspiring playwright, Basil Thomas. Each week, a core company of 20 actors and crew would present a new play to the packed masses. Future stars of the stage and screen, such as Kenneth More, Peggy Mount, June Whitfield, Leonard Rossiter, honed their craft under the watchful eyes of the Black Country audiences. Despite a post-war boom in ticket sales and general theatre interest, the introduction of television to the British households in the late 50s led to a decline in audience numbers across the country's regional theatres. The rep companies were far from immune. The television industry promised more money and national exposure for far fewer hours, and so many of its stars were lured to the London streets to discover if they were really still paved with gold. When beloved general manager Peter Marwood passed away in 1959, it was the end of an era for the Grand in many ways. The Derek Solberg Repertory Company was no more, and the Grand's programme shifted towards high-profile touring dramas and star-studded variety shows. Memorable moments include visits from Agatha Christie for the premiere of Verdict, the Queen's coronation in 1953, and a young Sean Connery in the Grand's Diamond Jubilee performance of South Pacific, and even a concert by the international singing star Marlene Dietrich in 1966. By the close of the 60s, the antiquated auditorium was in dire need of refurbishment and modernisation if it would stand any chance of attracting any audiences, so it desperately needed. Major shareholders, the Wyatt family, sold the theatre to a local authority for £74,000 shortly before the appointment of Humphrey Stanbury as the new chief exec. The Grand Theatre Club was hastily formed by supporters and patrons of the Grand, and over the course of one incredible weekend in 1973, the weary auditorium, dilapidated dressing rooms and even backstage areas were renovated, repainted and updated. At the close of the decade, the Grand was opening its doors to nearly 250,000 customers, thanks to a fresh, modern facilities and contemporary crowd-pleasing programming. Rapturous applause greeted legends such as Sadler's Wells Opera, Sir Ian McKellen before the Spike Milligan and Margot Fontaine. Theatre goers, staff and stars alike all look back on this era with a great sense of admiration and fondness. It was truly the perfect time to be part of the Grand Theatre. Dark times lay ahead for the last few years of the 1970s, however. Save the Grand, the fall and the rise of the Grand in the 1980s. On February 23rd, 1980, the Grand Theatre closed its doors, faced with financial difficulties and a very real prospect of permanent closure. There was an expected level of public outcry at the decision, with many loyal Wolverhamptons refusing to give up on their love of live theatre in the town. A Save the Grand action group was hastily assembled with the objective of raising both funds and awareness to resurrect the Grand from its black hole. Following several rounds of tense negotiation with the City Council, a compromise was reached. The theatre would reopen, but only after a massive renovation and restoration scheme had been completed, alongside the establishment of an annual grant from the council to ensure its continued success. When the Grand reopened its doors on the 31st of August 1983, it was arguably one of the best equipped theatres in the country. For the next 10 years, the Grand enjoyed success after success, attracting top touring companies, packing houses full of loyal, cheering audiences. Today's Grand, 1990s and beyond. Fast forward to December 94, and against all odds, the Grand celebrated its centenary with a special one-off performance from the same De Hoyle Carter Opera Company, who appeared there on its opening night. This well-received special occasion kick-started another decade of success for the Grand, during which time audience gradually rose annually by almost 80%. Another major refurbishment in 1998 cemented the Grand's reputation as one of the country's leading national regional theatres. The arrival of a new chief exec coincided with vast improvements to the theatre's education, access and marketing departments, as well as further refurbishments and developments in the building's technology. The Grand is now poised to continue into the 21st century with the assured stride of having survived its darkest days thanks to the loyalty, affection and support of its many patrons, staff and performers. Here's to the next 100 years.
And we had a great day today, didn't we? A grand evening's entertainment there. The Grand in Wolverhampton.